Coffee Talk with Trisha, aka Patricia Peterson. Coffee Talk. Oh, great. Hello, guys and gals. It's time for another edition of Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk, Coffee Talk. It is time for Coffee Talk. It is where I talk about random stuff that's on my mind. Watch out. It's time for Coffee Talk. Maybe that should be my new theme song. Kind of liking it, kind of digging it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If you guys like it, leave a comment. So, I know yesterday, gosh, that was kind of like a downer. That was a downer video. Anyways, yeah, so I was talking, one of the topics was that I was talking about was my goddamn gray hairs that were coming in. And I was contemplating whether I would just, just go with it, let it grow out, and just, have my gray hair. But then I woke up this morning and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, no, I'm not ready for this crap. No, I am not ready to look older. So I colored it, as you can see. Still got some splotches here and there. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Not yet. Maybe when I get a little older, I'll be okay with it, but I don't know. I don't feel like I should have gray hairs right now. I feel young. I feel vibrant. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not ready yet. So I colored my hair. When I'm done editing this, I will put a picture of my process. Yeah, it's quite comical. I got kind of messy with the hair dye. So today, I kind of wanted to talk about, like, ghost stories. I wanted to talk about, well, stuff that I've experienced working in the hospital, because, all hospitals are haunted. I mean, multiple people have died there, so. But also, when I was younger, I'll start with that. One of the houses I lived in was an older house growing up. I remember one night in my room, I had my own room, was getting ready to fall asleep, and I heard a little girl giggling somewhere in my room. It was the scariest shit ever. My heart stopped for a minute. I had never been so scared in my life. It was a little right when I was like trying to go to sleep, and I just like woke right up, and I did not sleep that night. I was freaking out. That was so weird. And also in that house, the lights would flicker, go on and off on their own. I remember some of my childhood friends would spend the night, and they always felt a little creeped out in my house, so probably had a ghost hanging out. I don't know. And then I wanted to talk about in the hospital. Let's see. I can start with, so one of the units I used to work on, it was renal telefloor. We dealt with a lot of kidney failure patients, dialysis patients, also like diabetic patients. Not that that's relevant, but so anyways, I worked night shift at the hospital. And I was working on the very far end of the unit, where it's kind of quiet, because my patients were in the very far rooms. So I set my computer. We had little rolling computers, and I set mine like right by my patient's room, sat down, I was charting. And while I was charting, I felt a tap on my shoulder. And at the time, I thought it was one of my fellow nurses who had been around the area like a few minutes prior, I think. And he had patients close to mine. So I turned around to see what the hell he wanted, and nobody was there. Nobody was there. And that was a definite tap on my shoulder. I felt that. It wasn't a soft tap, it was a hard tap. So yeah, that tripped me out. Another time, while working night shift, this was in the ICU, I was just charting away on the computer, and my pen was sitting kind of off to the side of my keyboard, but far away enough from my hand. So I was just typing. Sorry about that. I had to stop for a moment because I got a phone call while I was trying to film. So to get back to the story, I'm charting, and the pen is like off to the side by my keyboard, but you know, off a little ways. So I'm sitting there charting, chart. And then all of a sudden I notice out of the corner of my eye, my pen just starts, it's laying down. It just starts spinning around on its own. And I remember like stopping and staring at it and like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? I did not even touch that pen. Is it seriously spinning on its own? I remember like being shocked. And I remember, one of the people I work with was sitting across from me, and he was like looking at me because he saw my eyes get all big and saw me staring at my pen. And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Did you see that? Did you see that? My pen just moved on its own." And he's like, "Well, he's like, your finger or something must have hit it." And I'm like, "I did not hit it. It was nowhere near the pen when it started spinning." But yeah, I don't think he believed me, but that shit happened. It's crazy. What's another story? Oh, so back to when I worked on the tele renal floor. That unit ended up moving to a new area of the hospital. So the whole unit moved. And it was like a day or so after. And I think I think I had left something in the break room at the old unit. So, I decided to go over there, to go find it. I don't know if it was like my lunchbox or a sweater or something. And I remember I brought one of my coworkers with me, and, so we go over there. So the unit's empty. There's nobody there. There's no patients. Nobody's working. It's just an empty unit. And, we notice, one of the call lights is going off. And my coworker and I look at each other. We're like, what the hell? So we go into that room and we turn it off, the call light in the room. And then we left the room. And I think as we were walking back, the call light went off again. Creepy stuff. And then one more story. Also, when I worked on the renal tele unit, I guess that unit had some shit going on. Anyways, so at the far end of the unit is an elevator, and that's the elevator that we use to take deceased patients right down. The morgue's right on the first floor, so we take that elevator straight down to the morgue. So, but it doesn't go just to the morgue. It also goes to an exit that takes you to one of the parking lots to the hospital. So I remember a few times other staff members getting on the elevator and it just stopping and getting stuck. And then I remember one occasion I got on the elevator and it tried to go up to the 7th floor. Unfortunately, we don't have a 7th floor in that part of the hospital. We only have 5 floors, and I was on the top floor already when I got on the elevator. So trippy, very trippy. There's some spirits messing with that elevator for sure. Creepy, but yeah. Crazy stuff. Oh, and then I guess I could say that one other time here in Manteca, where I live, I was driving home, and I was driving past the cemetery. And I remember seeing this guy. He looked like an old, like, gangster type from the 90s. He was, like, wearing, like, all red. He was a white guy wearing all red with the saggy pants. Like, he stood out. Just, like, walking down the sidewalk by the cemetery. And I remember turning my head for a second to check traffic, and then I turned my head back, and he's gone. He's nowhere to be seen. There was nowhere he could have gone that fast, just in a head turn. So I'm pretty sure that was the ghost. Yeah. Trippy stuff, for sure. So tell me some of your ghost stories. I would be interested to hear them. So I do want to end with a funny story. It's about a dirty trick I played on a friend of mine. It was when I was in high school. I think I was, 16, 17. Anyways, my friend was over, and we decided to make our own, like, homemade Ouija board, which I suggest never, ever messing around with those things. At the time, I didn't know the dangers of playing with those things, but, yeah, you don't want to open any portals or allow any evil spirits around you, so don't play with those things. But at the time I was an idiot and I didn't believe in them. I thought the whole thing was stupid. So my friend was like, yeah, let's make an Ouija board and see who we can contact. I'm like, all right. So we made our little homemade Ouija board. And then so we started playing with it. So I remember my friend saying, is there anybody here that would like to speak to us? And mind you, I was pushing this thing around to answer all her questions. So I went to yes, and I remember her saying, what was it? Who am I speaking to? And then I remember spelling out the devil, and she freaked out. And then it spelled out something like, I'm gonna get you, or I'm gonna kill you, or something like that. And she just like jumped back and like started freaking out, like, oh my god, oh my god. And then I remember revealing to her that I was pushing it the whole time. She got so mad at me. She ran after me, ready to beat my ass, and I was just laughing my ass off. But oh man, that was pretty messed up, but it was a good laugh. Yeah. So I think that's it for today, for my edition of Coffee Talk. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying my page. Yeah, and I will chat with you later. Oh, and stay safe, make good decisions, social distance, stay 6 feet apart, wear your mask, just be safe, take care of yourself. I'll talk to you later. Ciao.